Is your sound?
All right, apologize for the delay. My name is Michael Gear. As chair, I call this regularly scheduled meeting of the Historic District Commission to order this 26th day of August 2021. There is a quorum present. The roster of the staff to the commission, of the commission members, and the technical posts that they fill in accordance with the requirements of the Hagerstown zoning ordinance are on file with the city of Hagerstown, are available on request from the applicant, and are hereby made a part of the legal record of each and every application heard today. All decisions rendered are based on the Secretary of Interior's standard and guidelines as adopted by the city of Hagerstown. Each decision is made on a case-by-case basis and is not intended to be precedent setting. If you have any cell phone or other electronic devices, please make sure that they have been silenced. All meetings are being recorded and are broadcast live on YouTube. We do have two types of cases today. We have consent agenda and design review. For the consent agenda, I'll ask anybody in our audience if they have any issues with those particular cases. If not, then I'll ask commission members if they have any issues with any of the consent agenda items. If there are no issues, we will then blanket approve those particular cases and those applicants will be free to go. For design reviews, when your case is called, please come to the table and join with the commission. For the record, please state your name and address. There will be a brief synopsis of your application from the staff consultant. After that, the floor will then be turned over to the applicant for any further elaboration. After that, the floor will then be open for discussion by the commission members prior to rendering a decision on that application. At this time, we have one commission member joining us via electronic method. We have no approval of our minutes right now. First up for consent agenda, HDC case 2021-29.
Mr. Chairman, can you hold on one second, please? Hey, Chris, can you see the proceedings?
Yeah, I can see you all at the council chamber.
I'm sorry, was that a yes?
Yeah, I am. I'm on my computer through Zoom.
Okay, because we can't see you. We just want to make sure.
I can put my video on.
There you go.
Yeah.
Thank you. And let me go see if I can turn it on.
Okay. All right. Technology is great as long as we know how to use it, which leaves me out of it. There may be a bar down at the bottom. There's a little like a microphone in the bottom right-hand corner. Click on that. And if you click on it, it should pull it up that you can typically. There you go. Oh, you're up at 10, so you're pretty much as high as you're going to go. You may have to turn up your microphone level a little bit. consent agenda items. We have HDC case 2021-29 for 41 South Potomac Street for a sign, and HDC case 2021-30 for 4 South Potomac Street for brick replacement, and which is also a grant application.
And I provided on your table a photograph of the brick. It's pretty close to what was there before. It's almost replacement in kind, but that was provided to you all for part of the materials in the package. It came in late.
All right. I take it nobody in our audience is here to speak out against those particular cases. Commission members, any concerns with these 2 particular items? All right. Hearing nothing, we'll entertain a motion to approve.
Mr. Chairman, I have reviewed the materials submitted in cases HDC 2021-29 and HDC 2021-30 and their associated staff reports and recommendations, and I have viewed the properties in question. Staff reports recommend approval of these applications as consistent with the applicable standards adopted by this commission, and no one has appeared at this hearing with concerns about issues with or objections to these applications. Therefore, I move that this commission adopt the staff evaluation and recommendations in these cases as its own and grant certificates of appropriateness to HDC 2021-29 and HDC 2021-30.
All right. Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
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 All right. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right. Thank you very much. You should be all finished.
I'm sorry, Doug made the motion
Yes,
and Leslie seconded.
correct.
Okay.
All right. You have both forms up here, or did you only give me one?
I just gave you the one.
Okay.
The other one was just a grant application form.
All right, then we're into design reviews. HDC case 2021-23 for 247 South Prospect Street for a new door. That application had been tabled previously through the meeting of September 9th. That applicant is not here at this time, so we will postpone hearing that particular application today until the next meeting. Next up is HDC case 2021-27 for 2 East North Avenue. Ms. Graff with Hub Healing for a sign. If you could come to the table and state your name and address for the record, please.
Hi, yes, Ame Gray in 2 East North Avenue, Hagerstown, Maryland, 21740. Business is Hub City Healer.
Okay. This is case HDC 2021-27. The applicant is Ame Gray, trading as Subsidy Healer. Property address is 400 North Potomac Street /2 East North Avenue. This is in the Potomac Broadway district. It's a B resource. It contributes to the character of the district, but it's not likely to qualify for National Register listing individually. Photograph of the front of the building is shown on page 1 of your staff report. This Gray's business will operate out of the business on the side street, so it would be around to the right-hand side of the structure as it appears in your staff report. Design guidelines, pages 37 to 39 of the residential guidelines. Description of work, the applicant proposes to install a custom-made wood sign along the East North Avenue frontage. The sign is a series of custom carved narrow boards on 2 vertical posts. Staff has no recommendation. The zoning ordinance limits the size of the freestanding signs in residential districts to no more than 10 feet in height and 40 square feet in area. Freestanding signs are limited to 1 per street, so the applicant will need to verify that there isn't more than 1 freestanding sign on this corner lot at this time. A building permit will be required if this is approved. But it appears that the sign, using the individual boards, calculating the area, complies with the zoning limitations for signs in residential zoning districts. And then in the package was a photograph of the sign. And I think that's it. And I believe there are there's one other freestanding sign, if that, on the property.
Right, there's the one for Tanique and the Dry Bone Bar.
And it's one single structure. correct?
Yeah, and it's what was there for, I think it was the Tranquility Spa,
I just wanted to clarify that. And
but that,
with that,
I,
I'll turn it over to the chairman.
right.
Alright.
But for myself, I have one freestanding and that's the only one I have.
The zoning ordinance limits the total number of freestanding signs on that property to
Right,
one on each street.
right. So I have one and they have one.
That's all we need to know.
All right, anything further to add?
The only other thing is I was gonna ask if I could, I have a side entrance and the door needs to be painted. At this particular moment, it's painted black and it needs to be painted again. And I was wondering if I could paint it an antique red.
We have really no purview over color other than making sure it's more compatible with the district.
Yeah, it works.
So
with
we're
the-
not, I mean, that's more just maintenance. So
The
that's,
body doesn't have to prove that for you.
Okay, someone said you did.
No,
Okay,
If you're repainting an existing painted surface,
okay,
changing the color, let me back up. If you're repainting an existing painted surface, that's considered routine maintenance.
mm-hmm,
Those things need to be repainted.
mm-hmm,
If you're changing the color, that's something that's precluded by our guidelines for this board to take into account.
okay,
So if the door wasn't painted,
Mhm.
although just about every door is, but
Right.
if it wasn't painted, let's say it was a stained door and you wanted to paint it,
mm-hmm,
then it would have to come to this body.
okay,
But repainting your brown house white, repainting your black door red, the
yes,
previously painted surface, this body does have. to.
okay, understood.
anything in regards to the sign?
No, just that I designed it and I hope it gets approved.
All right. Commission members, comments, concerns?
I think that the concern would be that the prior sign, or not yours, but the Tanique sign, was very close to the corner of the two streets. And if this is approved and she gets a sign there, is it so close that they would have to relocate their sign because of this corner situation?
Now, I'm going to be down, are you familiar with the location? So I'm down where the ramp is, and I'm going to place the sign. I was asked to do this because when I first was going to do it, I was going to place it up between the ramp and where their sign is. And there was an issue with some of their clients thinking that now I was going to be up there. So I'm now going to put my sign to the right of the ramp. So now it's kind of easier for my patients to know that the entrance to my healing space is going to be where the ramp's located.
Farther down the block.
Now, they've just changed the street to a one-way street there.
Yeah, I know. I had no idea.
Is that gonna, does that make any difference with how you locate your sign then, or anything
No,
like that?
It's just going to face out. Yeah,
Okay.
So North Street, is that North Street?
yeah, North Avenue. Right between Locust and Potomac now is a one-way.
It is 2 streets up there. There's,
East.
Or is it going to be from Mulberry?
East, I
Cannon,
believe, where-
From
That's where the
Cannon,
cannons is.
from Cannon to North Potomac. It's all gonna be one way.
Huh,
So as long as and this is kind of from Mr. Buckmiller, if the sign that's existing is not in question here and doesn't cause this one per street issue, I know, and I bring this up because we've had other cases, we have multiple tenants in a building like this, what will happen for all the regulations that apply to signage? If they add tenants over here,
They, by adding this sign, they would not be able to add any more freestanding signs unless they did something with one of these 2 existing. ones.
okay,
If you don't get unlimited street signs or freestanding signs
And there, I think there was, if they have multiple tenants and they're on the same thing, and they get somebody else in there to occupy one of those spaces, is there room to have with this situation for them to have more names on their sign?
I definitely answer that.
Okay, I'm just asking while we're here.
Now, what I will say is what I did is, if you can look on the sign, I have it as Hub City Healer, and then I have it with the hooks that say acupuncture, herbs, massage, and then if we add anything, any other modalities, the hooks can then add to show what else would be available.
And that's okay with this application?
You change the sign and you have to come back and be reviewed by this board, and also by adding signs, we need to make sure that it doesn't exceed the maximum square footage per sign.
All right, how tall will the sign be overall? I mean, is that representative here, or is it, I mean, the legs of the sign, is that going to be implanted into the ground further? So I just was trying to make sure I had a good understanding of what.
It's listed on there.
I might have overlooked that.
Fusion wood sign, rather lettering. Not seeing the height listed.
Okay, and you're going to plant those into the ground. Okay, so the last piece that you have where it says herbs, that's going to be, you know, just a couple feet off the ground.
I have an actual picture on it. So that way it looks, get a better understanding.
But I mean, when it's,
So that's
when it's,
like-
it's going to be down
It's
in
like a
there.
4 foot.
Has the sign actually been erected yet or not?
Yeah, I put
Okay.
it up and then I realized that. I
Okay.
couldn't have it up.
All right. Great, thank you. All right, commission members, any other comments, concerns? Chris, anything?
So the picture of the sign that's on the on our packet, is that a picture of the sign that's going to be there? Is it already in there?
Yeah, I think this, yeah, the photo that's in our packet is the photo of the sign in place.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the picture.
Okay, yeah, I see it. I see it. Thank
Alright.
you.
If there's no other comments, concerns, we'll entertain a motion for adoption.
This would be a motion to proceed appropriate as well.
Yeah. Yes.
Mr. Chairman, I've inspected the plans, project plans, of the property in question, and have constructed in accordance with these plans. The project is compatible with the character of the district for the reasons that it is less than 10 feet high. It is on the second street from this particular property, already has a sign. So therefore, It is in harmony with the architectural design guidelines for residential preservation district and the character of the adjoining properties. Therefore, I move that the HDC issue a certificate of appropriateness to this applicant for case number 2021 TAC 27.
All right, is there a second? All right, any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
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 All right. Anybody opposed? Hearing none. Motion carries.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Have a good evening.
Yep, you too. All right, next case, we have HDC 2021-31 for 801 Hamilton Boulevard for a pool deck and fencing.
I'm Stephen Jack Skeen, 801 Hamilton Boulevard, Hagerstown, Maryland, 21740.
Okay. This is HDC case 2021-31. The applicant is Stephen Skeen. Property is located at 801 Hamilton Boulevard in the Oak Hill Historic District. This building is a B resource. It contributes to the character of the district, but is not likely to qualify for National Register listing individually. Secretary of Interior standards, design guidelines are pages 50 and 51 of the residential design district guidelines. Description of work and plans. This is a corner property with Prospect Avenue being the side street. The applicant proposes to install a 4-foot tall above ground swimming pool in the rear yard, 21 feet in diameter, with an elevated pool deck surrounding the pool of pressure treated lumber stained cedar. The pump will be on the interior side of the pool away from the street. There is an existing wood picket fence along Prospect Avenue with some shrubs. The applicant proposes to install additional shrubs between the pool and the street, but has not provided specifics at this time. Staff recommend, and this report was written late last week, and it was also just before Mr. Skeen went on vacation, so there hasn't been any communication since this report came out. Staff recommendation is approval. The commission will need to discuss the landscaping issue in more detail. The guidelines recommend above ground pools be screened with landscaping and or fencing when visible from streets. An above ground pool is a temporary improvement that does not change the site and can be removed in the future without damaging the historic nature of the property. Due to the odd configuration of the rear yard, the Board of Zoning Appeals granted a variance to reduce the required 25-foot setback from the right-of-way of Prospect Avenue to 18 feet for the pool and deck. So they do have zoning approval to go as close as 18 feet to the right-of-way of Prospect Street. Secretary of Interior standards 2, 9, and 10 apply here.
Anything to add?
No, not yet. I'm just, I'm just trying to put a pool up, a rectal pool. It's actually 54 inches in height, not 48. And it's going to be surrounded by a deck. The only part's going to be open is going to be the half of where the pump, the heater is on the inside of the yard. And being my yard is a very peculiar type of yard, it kind of comes to a V. If you're familiar with Prospect, that it's a very awkward scenario. I have no other place to legitimately put a pool up. It's only place I can possibly put it up. And as far as the viewing from Prospect Avenue, my theory is I'm going to put some shrubbery along there to conceal it. I already have a stained cedar picket fence that I had approved by you folks earlier. I'm going to build this deck, and on the bottom of the deck, you won't be able to see the pool at all because it's going to have stained lattice on the bottom of the decking to cover so you can't see the surrounding of the pool, with a privacy fence on the top of the deck to keep the visibility out from Prospect and any place else. But the front will be open. It will be a picket fence, but you'll be able to see it. It's for looks. I don't want to put like a box back there where nobody can say what's going on back there, so they'll be able to see the front of it.
Anything else?
I think that's it.
All right, commission members.
Steve, can you help me a little bit on, you were mentioning the setbacks, you mentioned 18 feet and then 25 feet.
Yeah. Building setbacks. If you're building something on property, the zoning ordinance, it's not an HBC issue. This is zoning regulations for that zoning district. Is if you're building something, you have a 25-foot setback from all what's called front setbacks. Every public street frontage is a front. So even though it's the side of their house, they have the same setback on Prospect Street for anything, whether it's main house or a detached garage or pool, whatever, of 25 feet, the same as the front of the house. Any public street frontage is a front setback. So in order to comply with the zoning laws, the pool and the deck would have to be at least 25 feet from the right of way of Prospect Avenue. However, due to the unique character and peculiarities of the property, they went to the Board of Zoning Appeals and they demonstrated that they met the criteria for a zoning variance to reduce that requirement from 25 feet to 18 feet. So they're coming about 7 feet closer to the street than zoning ordinance otherwise would have required.
Okay, and they got approval for that.
Yeah.
And then what's the requirements for like the landscaping screen? I mean, you're talking about 4 inches here.
The design guidelines, now we're getting into your all's bailiwick, and that is the design guidelines suggest that if you're gonna have something like this, and it's visible from the street right away, that it should be screened by fencing, landscaping, et cetera, just a general reference. And they already have a 3-foot tall picket fence.
Yeah.
3-foot tall wood picket fence. They have already several shrubs and a couple of trees along that area as well. He's looking to add to that. And he also mentioned that the deck is going to be on the outside, part of the deck is going to be on the outside side of the pool and will be faced with a lattice. So the actual tub, for lack of a better word, the pool itself, you really haven't seen.
So the landscaping is just covering the delta between the 3-foot fence and.
Between the 3-foot fence and the pool, yeah.
I have a question. If the pool is there, isn't there a requirement for safety with some other code to have around the pool?
I think this.
Yeah, the deck will take care of
The
that.
deck will take care of that?
Yeah, the deck railing and
The
stuff will take.
wall of the pool actually meets that requirement. I asked that same question.
Oh.
If you have an in-ground pool, you're required to have a fence.
Okay,
And if the pool is over a certain height of an above-ground pool, then it no longer applies because the idea is you've got to climb up into the pool.
gotcha.
As you would be climbing up over a fence to get into where, so an above-ground pool over a certain height, which this meets, you don't have that fence.
Okay,
The one thing that you do have is the ladder up to it has to be able to be lockable. Yes.
I think that a lot of people are pro-plant, not people are not pro-plant, whatever grows and looks lovely. And I think that what works with your lot on your diagram, you haven't identified them, but I think whatever does well in that canopy and,
Well, I plan on having something that doesn't go dormant in the wintertime, something like a holly tree or a fern tree, something I can trim and doesn't go crazy out of,
Mhm,
grow 25 feet to the power line, something I can trim to keep it to a level of
yeah,
8 or 9 feet, something that's like.
I think that's great. I think you've covered all the ways of making aesthetic and safe for yourselves. I don't object.
Any other comments? Chris, anything?
No, I don't have anything to add.
No.
Everything else sounds
All right. If no further discussion, we'll entertain a motion to approve.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, I've inspected the project plans and the property in question, and if constructed in accordance with these plans, the project is compatible with the character of the district for the reasons of the plan commission setback requirements and the applicant's agreement to improve the screening, landscaping screen for the pool is generally in harmony with the architectural design guidelines for the residential preservation design districts and the character of the adjoining properties. Therefore, I move that HDC issue a certificate of appropriateness to the applicant for case number 2021 TAC 31.
Second,
All right. It's been motioned and second on any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed? Motion carries. All right.
Guess what? I can
Thank
do
you.
now? I can sign your building permit.
We'll look for the pool party coming
It's
up.
It's a busy corner right there. And of every
All right,
kid in the
very good.
neighborhood down there.
We're done, right?
Yep,
You are done.
you're finished.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Um, Steve, where am I supposed to sign on this particular?
I think we have a spot for us. I just drew.
Oh, okay, that's what I was missing. Sorry, I haven't signed that one yet.
You have one more item here, Jeff.
That's that one. Got that. All right, you too. All right. We have no workshops to deal with.
I live in
New business. We have, update the rules.
Provided you with a draft based on the conversation we had at the last meeting. I'm hoping you're going to do it at this point. If not, we'll take another crack at it.
I think the thing that I was most concerned about, I think we spent a lot of time was the time frame for applicants. First of all, whether applicants could testify by Zoom and the time frame for setting it up with your personnel to make that happen, not being a last minute thing. So those are the only two big issues I had to make sure that that's clear.
And I think what we're going to do is it's going to be a routine that we're just going to assign a Zoom number, and if nobody uses it, nobody uses
I
it.
think that's.
Okay.
Rather than trying to figure out meeting at a certain deadline, and maybe we will have it, maybe we won't.
But pretty much you can have the same Zoom number, because I know I've been on other meetings where they have almost the same information. They just plug it, they set it up on a calendar and,
Yeah.
you just click into it and call the number or whatever, however you need to do that.
And there wasn't a notification like for commission members, right? We just had that available.
We should have emailed it out to you. I mean, Chris is on, he got
Oh,
it.
yeah.
I was just saying, because like, for instance, I almost couldn't come today because of the storm coming. So that's a great thing to have for us. And the Zoom already set up.
Okay.
Yeah.
The stuff happens.
And I'm actually thinking about maybe talking to Paul and seeing if maybe just at the beginning of the year, we just enter them all in. I mean, it's like a scheduling kind of thing. Just enter them all in at the beginning of the year and be done with it.
Yeah, you should be able to, because everybody, hopefully on Outlook,
Just to this commission.
yeah.
I'll have to check with Paul.
Is
Or all
every,
the commission.
is everybody on Outlook? Because I mean, if they send out an Outlook notification, that information's there, once you save it, all you have to do is go into that, click into the meeting, and then it should open up the information.
We don't want to add more work. We just want to make it workable.
Right. Understood.
Yeah, so I read it.
Yep.
I didn't see anything that stood out to me that was a problem.
All right.
Chris, did you have anything?
And as I think we discussed last time, if we find something, we can change it. right?
Yeah, you can always amend your rules later.
Okay.
Well, I was gonna say that I appreciate the option to have Zoom, and I think it should be a routine part of every meeting. Although I do think we should be able to encourage applicants, particularly applicants with complex cases, to attend in person so that they can show everything they have. Because like things with like physical materials, like if they have like siding or a brick that they want to show, that kind of like tactile stimulation is something you can't really do online. So I think that's something important to keep in mind.
So you're okay with what we have at the top of page 4? Where it says applicants are advised that due to the potential for miscommunication inherent in online platform meetings, it is expected that the applicant shall appear in person and participate in the meeting in person, barring extenuating circumstances. You're okay with that?
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Okay.
All right. Great. All right. Do we need a formal motion? All right. We'll entertain a motion to adopt, please.
Mr. Chairman, I a motion to adopt the change to the Historic District Commission.
Second.
All right. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed? Motion carries. All right. Appreciate that.
Leslie is the mover and second.
Yes. All right. Do we have any other new business needs to be brought before this commission? Hearing none. Any old business that needs to be brought before this commission? Hearing none. Any announcements? Lots of stuff going on this weekend. Get out there and enjoy.
Yeah,
All right. No. All right. I think we're done.
Second.
All right. Thank you.
All I gotta do is go back and change the red text, so you would just sign this page. I don't have to do that.
Okay. Thanks, Chris. Have a good week.